You are up $800. Your palms are sweating. Your finger hovers over the close button. You take the profit early. Again. 2 hours later, that trade would have been worth $3,200. That cold, nauseating regret in your gut, that is not greed. That is panic. The exact same panic you feel on your worst red days. Except today, you were winning. And that is the part nobody talks about. Everyone teaches you how to handle losses. Cut your losers fast, use a stop loss, protect your capital. But here's the truth that will make you uncomfortable. Your green days are destroying more money than your red days ever did. Not because you are greedy, because you are terrified of watching a winner turn into a loser. And that terror makes you grab profits like they are about to be stolen from you. Today I'm going to show you why this happens, why it is biological, why 95% of traders cannot stop doing it, and the one pre-commitment trick that fixes it permanently. But first, I need to break something you believe. You think red days are your enemy. They are not. Green days are. Here is what every trading book tells you. Your biggest problem is your losses. Control the downside. Use stops. Cut losers fast. The money will come. And that is not wrong. It is just incomplete. Because here is what nobody mentions. For every dollar you lose on a bad trade, you probably leave 3 on the table from a good one. Think about your last 10 winning trades. How many did you close at your original target? How many did you cut early because your heart started racing? How many kept running after you closed? Be honest. If you are like most traders, the answer is painful. You cut 7 out of 10 winners before they hit full potential. Not because the trade was failing, because the green number on your screen made you nervous. There is a word for what happens on red days. Panic. Everyone knows it. Your chest gets tight, your hands shake, you feel sick, you close the trade. But nobody uses that word for what happens on green days, because it looks different from the outside. On a red day, panic looks like chaos. On a green day, panic looks like discipline. You tell yourself you are being smart. You tell yourself you are locking in gains. But your body tells a different story. Your palms are wet. Your jaw is tight. Your breath is shallow. That is not discipline. That is fear wearing a green mask. And here is where it gets uncomfortable. The trader who panics on red and the trader who panics on green? Same person. Same nervous system. Same survival instinct screaming the same message. Make the uncertainty stop, right now. Now let me ask you something, and be honest with yourself. When was the last time you let a winning trade run to full target without touching it? If you cannot remember, the next section is going to hit hard. Here is the math that should keep you up tonight. Say you trade a $15,000 account. You risk 1% per trade. That is $150 at risk. You take 3 trades per week. Over 48 weeks, that is 144 trades per year. Now watch how Green Day panic eats you alive. Trader A panics on green. She has a 68% win rate. Sounds incredible, right? But she cuts every winner at a 1-to-1 payout. She risks $150 and takes $150. Over 144 trades, she wins 98. She loses 46. 98 wins times $150 equals $14,700 in gains. 46 losses times $150 equals $6,900 in losses. Net profit, $7,800. Decent, but not life-changing. Now look at Trader B. She only wins 52% of the time. Lower win rate. Sounds worse. But she does not panic on green. When a trade hits her first target, she moves her stop to break even. She lets the rest ride. 30% of her winners run to a 2-to-1 payout. Some run to 3-to-1. Her average win is not $150. It is $280. Over 144 trades, she wins 75. She wins 69. 75 wins times $280 equals $21,000 in gains. 69 losses times $150 equals $10,350 in losses. Net profit, $10,650. Same account, same risk, same market, same setups. The difference? $2,850 per year. Not from a better strategy, because one trader does not panic on green. Over 5 years, Green Day Panic costs you more than $14,000. On a $15,000 account, you are nearly losing the entire account in missed profits. Not from bad trades, from good trades you were too scared to hold. That was the math. But math alone does not fix this. It does not explain why your hands shake when you are winning. The answer goes deeper than numbers, and it explains everything. Here is what actually happens inside your body when a trade goes green. The moment you see profit, your brain does something strange. It claims that money. Before you close the trade, before a single dollar hits your account, your brain has already spent it, already felt the relief, already counted it as yours. And now your brain has a new problem. The market is still moving. Every tick threatens something your brain already owns. Think of it like this. You find a $100 bill on the sidewalk. You pick it up. You feel great. Now someone walks over and says, "Flip a coin. Heads, I give you another 100. Tails, I take back the one you found." Would you take that bet? Almost nobody would. Not because the math is bad. The math is perfectly even. But your brain does not process it as even. Losing something you hold hurts roughly 2.5 times more than gaining something new feels good. Your brain has a built-in bias toward protecting what it has, even when what it has is not real yet, even when it is just numbers on a screen. This is the pendulum. Once you see it, you will never unsee it. Picture a pendulum hanging in the center. That center point is your entry price. When the trade goes red, the pendulum swings left. Panic. Close the trade. Stop the pain. When the trade goes green, the pendulum swings right. Panic. Close the trade. Lock in the gain. Different direction. Same force. Same terrified hand reaching for the mouse. The pendulum does not care if you are winning or losing. It only cares about one thing: distance from the center. The farther the trade moves from your entry, the harder your survival brain yanks you back. And here is the cruel part. The more profitable the trade becomes, the harder the pendulum swings. At plus 200, you feel a little uneasy. At plus 500, your leg starts bouncing. At plus 800, you cannot breathe. At plus 1200, you close it. Not because the trade was dying, because your nervous system could not handle the height. You are not managing a trade. You are managing a pendulum. And right now, the pendulum is winning. Stop. Read that last line again. You are managing a pendulum. Now let me show you 2 traders who learned this the hard way. Meet Brooke, 29 years old, lives in Portland. 3 years of trading, 2 blown accounts. Total damage, $22,000. Brooke is not reckless. She has a system. She uses stops. She journals most days. Her win rate last quarter was 71%, and she is still barely breaking even. Because Brooke panics on green every single time. She enters with a plan. Risk $50. Target $150. A clean 3-to-1 setup. Great entries. Patient on the setup. Everything right until the trade starts working. At plus 30, she is calm. At plus 60, she watches every tick. At plus 90, she moves her target closer. At plus 100, she closes. $50 short of her plan. Every time. Her journal says the same thing. Took profit early. Glad I did. Then 2 hours later, trade hit original target without me. Feeling sick. Over and over. For 3 years. Now meet Grant. 34 years old. Lives in Austin. 2.5 years trading. 1 blown account. Current account, $8,000. Grant's win rate is 48%. Below 50. Most people would call that a losing record. But Grant made $6,200 last quarter on an $8,000 account. Here is what Grant does differently. He only trades the first 90 minutes after the New York Open, 1 or 2 setups, maximum. He risks exactly 0.75% per trade, $60 on his current account. When a trade goes green, Grant does one thing. He walks out of the room. Not because he is brave, because he knows what the pendulum feels like. He just decided to stop listening. Grant learned this from a strange place, not a trading book, from a group of monks in Southeast Asia. These monks spend weeks building incredible artwork out of colored sand. Every grain placed by hand. Thousands of hours.
The detail is breathtaking. And when they finish, they sweep it all away. Every grain. Gone. On purpose. They do this to practice one thing: letting go of attachment to what you have built. Because the clinging is what creates suffering, not the loss itself. The grip.
Grant realized his Green Day panic was the same thing. He was gripping unrealized profit, treating a number on a screen like it was already in his wallet. And the gripping was killing his edge. So he built a rule. After entering a trade, he sets his stop and his target. Then he walks out for 15 minutes. No watching, no adjusting, no gripping. The hardest part of trading is not finding a setup. It is leaving a winning trade alone. But Brooke's story is not over. After learning about the pendulum, she tried Grant's method. Set stops and targets in advance. Stopped watching every tick. For 11 days, it worked. Her average winner grew from $92 to $140. She felt something she had not felt in months. Quiet confidence. Then, day 12. 3 winners in a row. Her account was up $900 for the week, the highest in 4 months. Something shifted. She took 6 trades on Wednesday. Not because she had 6 setups, because she wanted the streak to keep climbing. The pendulum was swinging hard to the right, and instead of letting it settle, she chased it. She lost $410 that afternoon. She did not notice until her husband walked in at 11:30 at night. "Why are you still staring at that screen?" That was the moment. Not the loss, not the number. The question from someone who loved her. But here is what matters. 3 years ago, Brooke would have spiraled for 2 weeks. This time, she stopped after one bad session, wrote one line in her journal. "I stopped listening to my plan and started listening to the pendulum." Back on her system the next morning. The victory is not perfection. It is faster recovery. If you felt a knot in your stomach during that story, this next part is for you, because I need to be fair about something before we go any further. Taking profits early is not always wrong. In a choppy, sideways market, holding for a 2-to-1 target can destroy your win rate. On low volatility days before a major news release, runners are rare. In those conditions, grabbing a quick 1-to-1 is the right play. This is not about holding every trade until it hits a home run. This is about knowing the difference between a strategic exit and a panic exit. A strategic exit sounds like this. The market is range-bound today. My setup works better in trends. I will take my profit and wait. Calm voice. Steady hands. A panic exit sounds like this. I am up. I need to close. What if it comes back? Take it now. Shaky hands. Tight jaw. Shallow breathing. Same action. Completely different origin. One comes from your plan. The other comes from the pendulum. And the only way to know the difference is to decide before the trade is live. Not during. Before. Because during the trade, your survival brain is louder than your thinking brain. Every single time. I need to tell you something personal, because I owe you that. 18 months ago, I closed a trade at plus $630. My target was $1,500. It hit $1,500 40 minutes later. I sat in my chair and stared at the chart. I felt physically ill. Not because of the missed money, because I realized I had been doing this for 2 years, cutting every winner short, gripping every green number like it was about to vanish. That was the week I built my pre-commitment protocol, and I am going to give it to you right now. Forget the theory, forget the science. The next 3 minutes are the only part of this video you need to remember. Here is the protocol. It is painfully simple. Before your session starts, write 3 things on paper. 1. My setup. 2. My stop. 3. My target. That is it. Once the trade is live, the paper decides. Not your nervous system, not the pendulum, the paper. If the trade hits your stop, you lose what you plan to lose. If the trade hits your target, you win what you plan to win. If the trade is between those numbers, you do nothing. You sit, you breathe, you let the paper hold the weight. Grant does this every morning. He writes his plan on a sticky note, tapes it to the bottom of his monitor. He does not make a single decision that is not on that note. 93% of funded traders never receive a payout. Most of them know how to find setups. Most of them have decent strategies.
They fail because they cannot sit still when the pendulum swings. Now here is your one micro habit. Starting tonight, after any candle that makes your heart speed up, green or red, close your eyes for 10 seconds. That is it. 10 seconds of darkness. You are not meditating. You are not doing breathing exercises. You are interrupting the pendulum. 10 seconds breaks the pattern. It gives your thinking brain time to catch up with your survival brain.
Here is the 30-day challenge. For 30 days, write your plan on paper before every session. Follow the paper. Close your eyes for 10 seconds after every heart-racing candle. At the end of 30 days, compare your average winner to your average winner from the previous month. If the number did not improve, I will be shocked. Because every trader I have seen do this gained at least 40% on their average winner within the first month. Try it. Not because it is magic, because it is so easy that not doing it would be absurd. Green day panic and red day panic are not two problems. They are one problem with two faces, and that problem has one name: attachment. Attachment to a number. Attachment to being right. Attachment to certainty in a game that offers none. The monks who sweep away their sand understand something most traders never learn. The beauty was never in the finished piece. It was in the patience it took to build it, and the courage it took to let it go. Your next trade will go green. The pendulum will swing. Your hand will reach for the mouse, and for the first time, you will know exactly why. That is the edge nobody talks about. Not a better indicator, not a faster connection, not a fancier strategy, just a quieter hand on a swinging pendulum. Here is your mantra. The trade is not ready until your plan says it is ready. Stop gripping. Start trusting. The pendulum always settles. If this hit home, subscribe. I release one of these every week. And if you know a trader who panics on green days, send them this video. They will thank you for it.